good.
All righty then. It's 7 o'clock-ish. It's Thursday night, for sure.
Definitely.
So that means it's time for Thursday Night Live at the Gun Shop. And we are live and we are at the gun shop. So that would mean if you're with us, you're joining us.
And it's live.
And it's live. But I started off, we're alive,
You did.
and we're at the gun shop.
I'm just making sure everything's okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody. Everybody's signing in tonight, and we're going to kind of piddle here a second, give folks a chance to get signed in, and get clicked on. And welcome to those that are going to be listening to this later tonight or tomorrow or whenever. We appreciate everybody. We love it when you can join live, and we're thankful for all those who take their time to listen otherwise. So we got a good show tonight. We've got a jam-packed show tonight. We got good news, really good news actually. Got some sad news. And we've got 3 different guns we're going to look at. And then we're also going to have a session of debunking myths. There's so many myths, so much things that are misunderstood, if you will, that we're going to spend some time tonight debunking those. What are we looking like? Who's with us so far?
We got Chris Lawler.
Hey, Chris.
Jason Mullins.
Jason.
Rogelio Rodriguez. Ricky Hazelrig.
Hey. Glad to have y'all. Welcome. So I guess, let's get the not so pleasant stuff out of the way first. Seems like between last week and this week, we've had, looks like 2 fairly good-sized players in the gun industry are calling it quits. That would be Sky. Appears that they're not going to be with us any longer. And Delton. And there's people that say, well, who cares? That was just cheap stuff, or that was this, or that was that. Okay, maybe. Maybe some of it wasn't the highest of quality. Be honest with you, most of the Delton stuff I ever dealt with was okay.
Yeah.
Had several years ago, had the pleasure of actually going there and spending some time with Tony and Cassandra. Had some pleasant visits, some good meals, and but anytime that we lose people who have been solid in the industry, people that have consistently stood for freedom and stood for 2A rights and haven't compromised, it's not good for us.
Nope.
We sometimes you just wonder, because it's like people that do the wrong things seem to flourish.
Chris Beckett said Delton's great weapon. He said he has 2 ARs.
I've got several things that come from Delton, and I just hate to see them going away. And that's several jobs and that will be going away. And they had some really, really great people on staff there. Um, some just genuinely good folks, and it's sad. And I'm sad for Sky because maybe they were inexpensive handguns and whatever, but they did fill a niche.
Yeah, not everybody can afford, Dan Wesson.
And as long as you were buying guns from somebody that would be honest with you, or you were educated yourself or whatever, and understood what you were buying.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sad. It's very sad that, and I'm afraid that's going to be the first two of many. I know Arrow is in deep trouble. They had been in trouble and trying to pull out, and then they're not, and they're not doing too well. So we're gonna get past the bad news. That was the bad news. Now, we didn't have a show last week.
We did.
And we had told you the week before. The odds are that we would not have a show last week. That if we could, we would pop online from the fundraiser we were at and try to get something out. That was just not possible. It just wasn't possible.
No.
So we'll tell you a little bit about it. I think Steph has posted some pictures.
I'd love to post the videos, but I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want us getting in trouble
Um,
for copyright violations.
right.
I just want to clear that up there.
For using.
Yeah.
When you got large name performers like we're up there and they're playing for a closed audience, you could potentially create some tension.
But if you want to see them, come by here and I'll be happy to show you.
But we were last Thursday night, we were in the home of John Rich there in Nashville at Mount Richmore with probably about 125 or 30 other folks at a TFA event where we were raising money for the legislative side. Since, 15, 16 years, we've had a supermajority in the state of Tennessee of Republicans, and they still can't get anything done. I'm just really pissed off over one of these last bills, but I'm trying not to get off in a tangent on that. But the two guys that crossed the line on that, I would love to be able to help fund primary challenges against them. Get their asses out. Because they don't think Tennesseans have the right to self-defense. They think they're still thinking it should be a statute. And they don't think if somebody's out there stealing the generator that's running the oxygen machine, keeping somebody alive, if you defend that, they think you're a felon. Somebody may come on your property and take whatever they want. If you even show them a gun or a knife or a baseball bat,
frying pan. Anything that could be used as a weapon.
You're guilty of brandishing and have committed a bigger felony than they have. And people like Paul Rose down in Tipton County and this jerkwad from up here by Chattanooga crossed aisles, just like they always have. They're nothing but damn Democrats hiding under the Republican label, rhinos to the last. And said, no, criminals are hell much more important.
What was it John Rich was calling them?
Trans Republicans.
There you go.
Trans Republicans.
Trans Republicans. I thought that was funny.
But yeah, they think sleaze bags that are stealing stuff and destroying people's property or taking things that don't belong to them and causing other mayhem should be much more protected than the law-abiding, tax-paying citizens of the state of Tennessee. So anybody around Tipton County and over here around Chattanooga, I don't know if we're reaching that far. Anybody that's in that district where Paul Rose is, do everything you can to get rid of him.
Sorry.
So, what?
George, he's walking by making faces at you.
Oh. But anyway, there was a lot of discussion about that. But anyway, since we've had this supermajority for 15, 16 years, we can't get things done. Now we're having to do it through the courts with lawsuits, and it's just stupid that it has to go this way, but it's what it's going to take. And, you know, I had the privilege of sitting with John Harris, and Eric Pratt from GOA was there, and of course Richard Archie, and Monty Fritz, and
Chris Todd.
And, you know, it's...
Tell them the little interesting fact they told us about...
Oh, every legislator in Tennessee was invited. 2 showed up, Monty Fritz and Chris Todd.
Yep. Those guys care about our Second Amendment rights. And they prove it.
Well, Cody was telling us why Rusty didn't come, and I can't remember now, but it was...
family related, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, it was something, it's like, oh, okay, well, that, you know, that makes sense.
Yes.
Talking about Rusty Grills.
Yes.
His brother was here, and we were talking about that, and he told us the reason Rusty didn't come, and damned if I can pull it up right now.
I don't remember.
But anyway, it's a great event. John Rich did a lot of talking, did a lot of singing. We raised a lot of money.
Ricky Hazelrig said lots of closet Democrats in Tipton County makes him sick.
You're right. Still that old NAFI disease.
Robert McClure joined us.
So anyway, at the event, it was nice because it had enough cash sponsors to come in on the event that they were able to cover the entire cost of the event. So 100% of the ticket sales and everything that we did with the auction go straight into the fund to fight. And it was a good time.
Kevin Moore said, good evening, guys.
Good morning, or good evening.
Tom
I'll get it right in a
nap.
minute. So yeah, it was a great night. If anybody's interested, there will be a TFA's 30th. It's 30 years for TFA this year. It's formed in '95. The 30th annual meeting of TFA will be September the 6th. Seems to be jumping in my mind, but I won't swear to it.
We're going to
double check.
double check.
It'll be in the first part of September.
September 6th, you were correct.
September 6th. It's a daytime event, so it's like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. In Lebanon, at Wilson, at the Wilson County Fairgrounds. I'm sure there'll be ticket information and those things coming out soon.
They have announced there.
They have announced officially that
Michael Flynn?
General Michael Flynn will be the keynote speaker this year. So that should be nice.
Hey, Eric. Mr.
What's up, Eric?
Ferguson.
So it was a great night. A lot of money raised to fight for your rights
Yes.
and my rights wherever we have to. You know, I tell you every week, if you're not a member of TFA, if you're not a member of GOA, you should be. So, you know, we just told you about the TFA event. Then we'll have the goals, Gun Owners of America Leadership Summit, the second annual, in Knoxville,
Mm-hmm.
August
9th through,
is 9th and 10th?
yes.
Yeah, August 9th and 10th. Which you guys want to come up for. If you remember GOA, don't cost you anything to get in. If you've never been to anything like the NRA show maybe, or SHOT Show, or some of those type shows, that's what this is. You can get one-on-one with I think Eric said 100, nearly 200 manufacturers or more already. So it's going to be big. That'll be a great time. So that's kind of a quick summary of last week and getting off into the weeds a little bit. Another really piece of good news
Okay.
is within this legislative session, we did get passed, believe it or not. You want to come do a show with me? You don't want to come sit and do a show with me? Are you not speaking?
She didn't want to interrupt.
Well,
We
you
don't
can-
get to see you.
You can come sit with me and do the show.
You'll need your key.
You got keys?
We locked you in.
Oh, you locked me in?
Again.
I can get out because I remember my dad.
So, we did get, I can't, PLCCA or something like that. Basically, the legislation protects manufacturers from frivolous lawsuits because of things criminals do with their product.
Yeah.
You know, as you guys know, we've had the lawsuits, even Mexico trying to sue the gun industry in the United States for Mexico's gun problem. They don't have a gun problem. They have never mind, you know. They have a lot of problems.
Yes.
But there's national legislation on it, but Tennessee did a good job with this, good package, to protect manufacturers from frivolous, and you know, it's one of the things the anti-gun and like to use is lawsuits to and go after places that they can break just in legal costs. Whether they win the suit or not doesn't matter. They break them with legal cost. So that did pass in Tennessee, and that's a good thing.
Yes.
Now, one of the things that's been talked about a lot on a national level, everybody on YouTube's and everywhere that you look are talking about, yes?
Noel said good evening/morning.
Yes. See, when I said good morning a while ago, I was thinking about Noel,
That's it.
because it's Friday morning where Noel is.
Ish.
Hi, Noel. Glad to have you, brother. So there's a lot of talk about NFA legislation. There's a lot of things people they're wanting to do. With like maybe resolutions within a budget deal or some of this kind of thing. Here's what we got to be careful of, guys. If we go in after NFA legislation and it's not anchored correctly, now that just put that on the Democrats' radar, and the next time they get a little bit of power, that'll be the first thing they undo and probably make it worse than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going after NFA legislation, it's really got to be an all or nothing deal. You know,
Agreed.
you either, like if you're talking about silencers, you either get them written out of the 1934 law completely,
Yeah.
or leave it alone. You know, if you're going to repeal NFA, let's repeal it completely, which, you know, I'll be honest, we can't do. It's not going to happen. We're going to fight for it. We're going to push for it, but it's not going to happen. There's too many sellouts.
Mm-hmm.
you'd never get it out of the House, let alone the Senate. So with NFA legislation, let's be careful what we hope for. Let's be careful what we're wishing, because we may just get it and then it may bite us in the butt. Let's examine everything with this with a look for the long view, to the future. You know, how is this going to affect things later? And you know, if we can't make changes that can be cemented in, and you know, might be careful.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's get to part of the fun tonight. I'm gonna ask a question. Have I got very many people? Not really. Nothing.
We got a few. But we knew a few of them weren't going to be here tonight, so it's okay. They'll join us later, like they always do.
Let's do gun myths. Myth number 1. More guns equal more crime. This is a common thing that's portrayed across the news and major outlets. And we all know it's not true. Actually, what we know from actual scientific research and studies that look at things objectively, without a predetermined outcome, is that more guns equal less crime. So that myth is just the opposite. Another one we hear a lot, and this is on the TV. It's on, you know, these political police that get up with the different groups that, you know, they just want to be politicians, whatever. You don't need a gun for self-defense.
I may have thought that before I moved to Jackson, Tennessee, about 15 years ago. I was wrong. I can tell you that.
Now, you can call 911. You can run away. You can.
Yeah, they'll shoot
whatever.
you in the back.
Okay, let's dissect that for a minute. 911. 911 is responding to.
Yes.
They're not preventing anything. If somebody is trying to hurt you or take your life, you want it to be prevented.
Right. Adrian said you don't need one, you need multiple.
You're right. Only a fool. It takes a fool to just carry one. You don't need response. You need to be able to intervene and change that person's mind.
You need to be able to defend yourself.
Okay? Run away. That would be great. Like right now, I'm still trying to heal a broken leg.
You're not running anywhere.
I'm not running anything. Yeah.
No.
No.
You might hobble
I
real fast.
could try to hobble away, you know. Hop on one foot or something.
Yeah, you could do that.
Or what if it's an older person that doesn't have the mobility? Or what if it's a disabled person?
Yeah.
Or, hey, wait a minute. What if it's just an average citizen that feels like their back's up against the wall and their life's in danger?
Exactly.
Okay, you got to have something to even the odds against them. And a sharp stick normally, for most people, is not a good answer.
No.
Don't need a gun for self-defense. What garbage. If you're carrying a semi-automatic, do not carry with a round in the chamber. You will have plenty of time to draw your gun and chamber a round.
Oh,
okay.
goodness.
How many ways is that wrong? One, the only reason you wouldn't carry a round in the chamber is you do not have confidence in your own gun handling ability. And if that's the case, you may be more dangerous to yourself carrying a gun.
That's true.
I mean, that's just truth. When we put, with rights come responsibilities, and we have to, and part of that responsibility is train and become proficient.
That's correct.
But you do not have time to draw the gun, get around in the chamber, get it on target, and get a shot off.
Mm-mm.
Okay? You're living in a world of delusion. It's kind of like saying, I'll put my seatbelt on right before the wreck happens. Okay? It's literally the same thing.
You can live in your delusional world if you want to, but
And I would say you probably got a better chance with the seatbelt than you do trying to chamber around. And, one is slim, the other's none.
yeah.
If you're carrying a quality weapon with a good holster that covers the trigger, and train until you're competent. Gun-free zones equal safe zones.
No.
Oh boy, no. Gun-free zones equal target zones. Predators stalk prey. Predators stalk prey. Okay, watch.
You can pick whatever color you want.
Okay. This is your gun-free zone.
Uh-huh.
Out here is your environment. It's around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this environment, there are predators.
Mm-hmm.
And they know out here they might run into somebody that's got a way to defend themselves. But if they come in here, because they're predators, they're criminals, the fact that this is a gun-free zone means absolutely zero to them.
Yep.
Except for the fact it means easy prey. And there's nothing predators like more than easy prey.
Yep.
So, truthfully, gun-free zones are nothing except a killing field. And it's actually shown that it raises the potential for violence in that area. Racking a shotgun will scare away bad guys. No. I know it sounds good on TV, and your grandpa and your uncle and your daddy all told you, hey, you hear that shotgun rack? By God, they're leaving. No.
No, they're not.
No. I hear it in here multiple times a week. And,
We do, and it's just like, okay.
It's like, really?
It's a normal sound in here.
No, I mean, it's just, racking a shotgun is not,
Yeah.
it's
People
not
say
going
it
to
a
scare
lot.
away bad guys.
No.
Okay. Other thing, give me something I can clean this board off with.
The end of the thing there.
Well,
I know you're wanting to.
You don't have to aim a shotgun. Well, we all know if we went through Hunter's Ed and all this, they'll tell you, you aim a rifle and you point a shotgun. You don't aim a shotgun, you point it. Well, yes and no. If you're quail hunting, if you're shooting skeet, if you're trap shooting or some of that stuff, yes, you're more or less pointing the shotgun. If you're turkey hunting, deer hunting with slugs, or even buckshot, in places that's legal, or shooting for defensive purposes, you aim the shotgun. And everybody goes, well, you got a shotgun, you get all those pellets that are going to scatter out. Well, all those pellets are going to scatter out at normal fighting distance
Right.
across the room are going to be a spot about that big.
So you don't want to be just.
Okay, this you're just going to throw it up and shoot, and all this big wall of lead's going to be out there. No, you're going to have a pattern. You're going to have a shot group of about, or a pattern about that size, if you're lucky. That's if the barrel's cut off and it's not choked. Because for the first few feet out of the muzzle, all the shots staying in the wad. Then as the wad peels away and the shot goes forward, it starts to spread
Spread
out.
out.
But that takes distance.
Right.
And when we're talking about the distance, we're talking about gunfight distance, you might have something this big. So this ideal, I'm just going to point it down in the general direction, and I can't miss, is a myth. And it's a myth that can get people hurt.
Yes.
Now, believe me, I am a firm advocate of a good shotgun. But you have to understand the reality versus the myth. And like I said, the reality is you got a shot pattern about this big. Oh, here's a great one. This has come from people watch from TV. You know, on TV they show him, guy comes in and he's got a big pistol in his hand and he shoots the bad guy and he goes flying off his feet. Let's see. No. That's just not going to happen, guys. Just not going to happen.
No.
I don't care how big it is. I don't care if it's a 12-gauge shotgun. You're not going to pick them up off their feet and throw them backwards. Is there a 50 BMG laying sitting behind you?
They're.
Yeah, right over here, on the end of the other side of the box, right there. Okay, everybody's heard about the 50 caliber BMG or the 50 caliber. That's a 50 BMG. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not picking a man up off his feet and throwing him backwards if the bullet hits him.
What's it going to do to him?
Going to mess everything up inside. He's probably going to fall down, but it's not going to pick him up off his feet and slam him into a wall.
But it'll probably go through him.
Well, he's probably, you call the Undertaker. It's going through. Damn, hell, it ain't even going to know it hit him. That ain't even enough to make that bullet realize it hit anything. But it's not going to pick him up off his feet and slam him back into that just,
Right.
no.
That's TV.
You know, I hear people go, I had a 45 and it'd knock a man plumb off his feet. No,
No, it won't.
I'm a big fan of the 45. 45's a great cartridge. 45 does a fine job. But it don't pick people up off their feet. Neither does a 454 or a 460 or a 500. That's just bull malarkey. There's a nice clean word, bull malarkey. Any comments? Anything?
Will wanted to know, he said, the legend Tom. Did y'all ever go shoot?
Yeah, we finally got out late in the afternoon. The reason I didn't call you is because I didn't know if we were going to get to go or not. It was kind of a last minute. We got a call with a place to shoot. And it's a place we had never been before to shoot. And went out and burned a little bit of powder. You need to come up here tomorrow, by the way, Will. So anyway, bullets knocking people backwards just ain't happening.
Well.
And here's one. And, you know, there's some validity to this. Why people would believe it. Long barrels are more accurate than short barrels. It is not true. Now, there are a few things long barrels will do in most cases. Now, granted, everything has a point of diminishing returns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Depending on the cartridge and the barrel lengths that are involved, a longer barrel may give you more velocity, or it may let the bullet go faster because there's more time for the powder to burn. Some cartridges, it really makes a difference. Others, it really doesn't. Give you an idea with y'all. I got my board, and I'm so happy
I'm gonna have to get you a bigger board.
with 375 Raptor and a 270 grain soft point.
Will has a question. He says, "Is 16-inch better than a 20-inch for a 5.56?"
At 20, the cartridge was originally developed on a 20-inch barrel. Today's ammo and the new technology, it's been kind of redeveloped towards the 16-inch platform or even 11.5-inch platform. But would you get more velocity out of a 20? Yes, you'll get more velocity. So here, on a 12-inch barrel, give you an idea, my load that I use and we offer for our customers, on a 12-inch barrel runs 1,980 feet per second, according to my Garmin chronograph.
Good evening, Brent.
Okay. On a 16-inch barrel, it goes to 2208.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go all the way to a 20-inch barrel, I can get to 20, I think it was 2431 or 2. Okay? So after 12 inches, I'm getting less than 300 feet per second, roughly. Velocity gain takes 4 inches a barrel to get under 300 foot per second velocity gain. So, depending on what you're doing, it may or may not be worth having a longer barrel for that. What?
Kyle Petty said for 55 grain ball ammo, 20-inch all the way.
I'll agree with that.
And he said, "I like the board, Tom."
I've been wanting the board. I want a bigger one.
We need a bigger board, I know. It's the biggest I could find at the moment.
Tom's easily amused, and being able to write on the board helps. So,
That's the teacher in you. You know that.
So long barrels can have advantages. You know, with me on the 300, for example, using the 300 Raptor or 375 Raptor, I opt for the 16. 2,200 feet per second with that bullet on a 16-inch barrel has got that rifle doing everything I need it to do in a nice compact package.
Trey Cleek says, "Get the man a bigger board." I'm on it.
We're taking up donations. But
Goodness.
here's the thing, long barrel versus short barrel. That really comes from the time that we were shooting open sights. Because the longer the sight plane, the longer the distance between the front and rear sight, usually means the gun will be more forgiving of our errors. It will help cover up what we're doing wrong.
Right.
Up to a point, it makes it forgiving. The shorter that distance, the more we have to be on our game. Where it makes, you'll hear them talk about a gun that's unforgiving. So, you know, and that actually comes true really with a lot of today's cartridges, you know, we think we need, you know, we've been, grew up, you know, if you're shooting a 30-06, you shoot a 22 to 24-inch barrel. If you're shooting a Magnum cartridge, you shoot 26 inches. And that's not, you know, on some of the older cartridges with that technology, that still can hold true. But a lot of stuff we're seeing today, we can run shorter barrels because we got better case design. Technology has let us understand how the powder burns and design cases to optimize the powder burn and get more out of less.
Jordan Taylor said Dr. Pepper and no blue muffin shake? Question mark.
That was this morning. I had my shake this morning.
He is the muffin man.
I am the muffin man. If you don't believe me, ask our good friends at Humboldt Nutrition.
Yes. I gave them a shout out today from my page.
Miss Jayla brings me my breakfast and smiles every morning.
Yes.
So no, long barrels are not inherently more accurate than short barrels. Actually, sometimes when you take the human error out of it and lock them down, you find out it's the reverse. Some of the shorter barrels will actually outgroup some of the longer barrels. And you can argue about why barrel whip and this and that and the other. You know, maybe one day I can get Paul Craddock to come in here and sit down with me and we can have a whole show on that kind of stuff.
I told we're going to have to get him on them masks, like you said, the luchador mask, and, you know, make his voice so you can't
tell who, you know. But anyhow.
One day we'll get Paul
hopefully
on here.
We can get Paul on here and do a segment about why all that, from somebody that can articulate it better than I can. I know it, but I would just not do a very good job at articulating it.
I mean, barrels are his business.
Yeah. So I promised, so that's some of the myths that's out there. I wanted to hit on a few of them. We may pick up a few of those each week or something. I don't know. Let's talk about some guns.
We're going to talk about guns.
Imagine that.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I just love that gun. It is so beautiful.
Okay. Can everybody see?
Yeah.
All right, guys. This is I guess, reproduction, if you will, of the world-famous Browning high power, the P35, Mr. Browning's last gun design, the one he was working on when he passed. 13 round, 9mm. Of course, single action design. Iconic pistol. And this particular gun, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, it is.
Is made under the Inglis brand. Imported by our friends up in Knoxville, Tennessee. Wonderful gun. Part for part reproduction of the high power. Things interchange, work wonderfully. Good metallurgy. And the color case hardening on this thing.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful. Really?
Yeah.
Color case hardening on this thing is beautiful. It's a great pistol. Like I said, design. It was Mr. Browning's last design.
2 of those, not people. We have 2 of those.
Oh.
What you're in your hand. We got more people.
I thought you'd tell me everybody but 2 people. He dropped off the thing. I was like, well, hell, I'll just go home.
I knew you misunderstood me. That's the reason I corrected myself.
You know, this guy's nearly as iconic as nearly, not quite, as iconic as 1911. Fought in lots of wars, served lots of law enforcement agencies around the world for many, many years.
Theirs weren't as pretty as that one.
No, this gun with its color case hardening, like I said, these guys do a great job with metallurgy.
It's got an amazing price on it, too. I don't care what Facebook says. It does.
It does. You know, these things, we're not offering for sale. We're just talking, having a general conversation
That's
about
right.
a gun. I'm not offering to sell you anything, but you can expect to pay around $5.99 for one of these.
Yeah.
It's one of the very few great buys really left on the market. Man, that's pretty. And they shoot as good as they look. Absolutely shoot as good as they look.
I don't have one of those.
These, of course, they run on branded high power mags. The ones that come with them are a Metgar 15 round rather than 13 rounds. So this mag actually picks up 2 rounds.
Very good.
And if you'll notice, they already got rid of that thing. The magazine disconnect safety's gone. You know, the very first thing you do to a high power when you get it is you go into it and you get rid of that thing so the trigger's usable.
Terry Lee said, "Hey, Tom, beautiful gun."
Hey, Terry. Glad to have you, brother. You know, just getting rid of the magazine disconnects like doing an entire trigger job.
Goodness.
So there, it's gone. That's about an hour and a half you ain't gonna spend.
That's really good.
Just great gun, great gun. Seems like I should have more to say about it, but I mean, it's so iconic. You've seen them in movies, you've been in militaries around the world, been just been a staple. And they're fun to shoot. The grips. The high power has a feel unique to itself.
I'd have to see if I could shoot that one.
Oh, you could. The high power has a feel unique to itself, and unless you picked one up and handled it, you're gonna go, I don't, you know what? But it's just kind of like that grip fits the grip angle, the little kick out here, everything about it, it just works in the human hand, and a human hand of many different sizes. So, if you haven't had a chance to check out a nice high power, or one of the good clones from Inglis, do yourself a favor, check one out. And so next, we'll pull this one out. Have a little old gun moment. Gun that was only made for a short period of time. It's a Smith & Wesson, model 52.
That's what it says on the tag. I can see that from here.
So Smith & Wesson model 52. This was made for competition, shooting, and is actually chambered in 38 special.
Very cool.
It was to shoot the mid-range wad cutter. 38 special mid-range wad cutter in competitions. Now, you remember a while ago we were talking about barrel length. There's a shorter barrel, longer barrel, which one's more accurate, and I talked about sight playing. That's what they've done here. They put an extension on here. This barrel was found to be the perfect length, and everything worked good, but a lot of the shooters wanted more sight playing. So they came up with this idea, and they would extend it to get that distance
Very cool.
and to get to be a little more forgiving, because these guns were marvelously accurate. Didn't make them long. This is a really nice example of a 52. And yes, I did say 38 special, the same cartridge that went in the revolver. But they were designed to shoot, it was called a mid-range wide cutter, which is a target load. And very low recoil, very, very accurate. And not one that you run into every day. So, Model 52 Smith.
Very cool.
Now, if you guys remember, I don't know, a few weeks ago, we spent the evening together on the broadcast putting together a 308.
You did?
You know, we had spaced, we put the barrel on the receiver and we had spaced it, and we installed the trigger, and we picked out the chassis and put all that together, and we were sending it to Cerakote. It's back. So here it is after we've Cerakoted it.
Looks good.
You know, we put it in the Herta chassis out of Germany.
Hera.
Hera. There's no T in there.
No.
We've done a kind of a black OD battle worn finish. And we will be putting, I've got a scope sitting over there that we're going to be mounting on it. And taking it to the range and videoing that, so you guys can be there for its maiden voyage. And we'll see what this little darling will do. But this is the one, you know, we took it out of the box. Everybody that was watching and still watching with us, we took the action out of the box. We got everything together. Did everything on film with you guys. And got it ready to go to Cerakote. And this is the result of the Cerakote. And, of course, the engraving.
I have to hold it up. They can't see that.
WHMC Guns, Humboldt, Tennessee engraving.
Yes.
Mr. Josh Dixon and Gary Caraway taking care of that bit of business for us. So our next thing now will be to mount the glass, which I've got sitting back behind Stephanie, and take it to the range and we'll find out if she's going to perform. Hopefully she will.
She will.
Get some nice tight groups. So anyway, have you guys got any questions or anything you want to ask or add to the myths, or?
I'll give you a few minutes to.
So anything like that? Nope.
Well, we got to give them time. We run on a little delay, I believe. I've seen some names popping up in here tonight. Kenny Cox, Joe Wright, Charles Gators, Jason Sweat.
Hey, guys.
David Ridgely.
Boy.
Brent Calicott.
Hey, Brent.
He did say hi earlier.
Oh, NFA wait times. Everybody always asking about that. Right now, they are quick. We've got a brand new record. Now, it's going to be hard to beat this one.
I think so.
An hour and a half.
Yep.
From the time we certified the gentleman till his paperwork come back was what, hour and 31 minutes or something?
Very close. I'm shocked.
It was. You know, I think we all sit there and looked at it going, are they going to take it back? But on average, we're seeing an average turnaround of about 2 to 4 days right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we just put one in a couple of days ago. His came back today.
one thing, we got one back we did yesterday.
Uh-huh. And I'm betting Michael's will come back tomorrow.
So,
I bet on it.
wait times, and guys, that's, you know, if you want to do an SBR, if you want to do a short barrel shotgun,
It don't matter.
you want to do a silencer,
If you want to do a trust and all that, they're treating it the same.
the wait times are down.
Way down.
So I know that's a question we get a lot. Inventory right now is decent. It's not bad. It has been more.
I think we're still really good on 22s.
Yeah, 22s, and we got some 36 caliber stuff, and
What's a good entry level 9mm? 9mm seem to be the go-to one right now. Everybody
are you
wants
putting
one.
it on a? Are you putting it on a carbine, or are you putting it on a traditional handgun?
We're waiting on that. And Kyle Petty said 22 rat shot will not bounce off of plywood. Myth busted. It will.
Oh yeah, it will. Shit, it'll bounce off snake's hide.
Terry Lee's one that asked about the 9mm.
A good entry level, true entry level can get started on 9mm would probably be something like the JK 155.
Handgun.
Yeah, like the JK 155. It's not an expensive can. As long as you run it wet, they seem to do pretty well as with sound reduction, and they don't overpower the pistol. So, and like I said, if you want something entry level and that you're not gonna have to spend a fortune to get accessories for, and probably I think it's JK 155. And we got some of them should be coming in.
They haven't shipped yet. They have been ordered. We're waiting on the paperwork.
They'll say that should have some paperwork at ATF,
Yeah, that's what we're waiting on.
you know, so that they can ship them.
Have we tried the PTR vent cans yet?
No, I've looked at some pictures. But truthfully, I haven't. Not saying we won't. I mean, if somebody wants one, we do have access to them. But I have not brought any in the store or actually shot any myself. Most everything I'm shooting right now is work related.
Yeah.
So it means, you know, I'm doing a lot of 308, a lot of 300, 300 PRC. You got a 7mm 08, and frankly, I've just been carrying I've just had one of my 30 caliber cans in the car and move it from one to the other. And that's about the only suppressor I've been shooting lately. Besides
the 22s.
yeah, we shot 22s the other day. And
375.
yeah, when I get to shoot 375, of course we're shooting ABs.
Yes.
The AB Raptors. That's an amazing can. It really is. Really, really is an amazing can. Anybody else?
They're steadily just going, but
I'm here to take questions, comments, or insults. So, ain't many people invite you to insult. So, anyway, guys,
sorry.
oh, I had a cool experience. Will you hand me? I know it's heavy, but will you hand me that 22 arc down there on the end with the bipod out? I know it's a little heavy, and you got to stretch to reach it.
Oh, well, I am short.
This is a little 22 arc that we stuck together. I still need to polish this barrel out, but I couldn't wait. I wanted to shoot it, and I wanted to shoot this scope. This is a Varminter, 5.5 to 25 by 56. One of the very original, earliest Night Force scopes they ever made. I think this was made the second year they were in business. It's what they were able to trace down and tell us by the serial number.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, one of the original Night Force Varminter scopes. We had this out and I did some test groups with it the other day. Under less than ideal conditions when I was shooting it.
Yes.
This is going to be one of them that's going to make you go, This is a shooter. But shooting, what's this scope? This scope's nearly 30 years old now.
Goodness.
Something like that. Maybe, 30 something.
Very cool.
But getting behind it and shooting it, it's great. It just made the whole thing even more enjoyable. But yeah, that's one of the original Night Forces. And sitting on top, and that 22, of course, 22 arc in this gun, there is no recoil.
No.
And then I stuck a can on the end of it, and it's just really pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Really pleasant. That's a cartridge people should be checking out. We do have actions and barrels and other stuff in stock.
We do.
So if somebody's interested in going that route, we can definitely get you hooked up. And is there anything else we want to share with everybody? I wished all you guys had the chance to experience shooting this scope. On this, it's just, I don't know, just fun. Fun. And just as precise as you're used to them being today. Mm-hmm. If it's 1/8 inch, it's 1/8 adjustments, and that's exactly what it moves per click. Really nice setup. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. We hope you've enjoyed it. Yes?
Adrian said, when are we lining up 22 arc to 22 arc?
Bring it. Bring it.
John Miller popped on for a minute.
Hey, John. Yeah, Adrian, just bring it, son. Just bring it. I know that gun you got shoots. But this one right here's got some magic. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I hope maybe you saw something that was enjoyable or learned something with the myth busting. We certainly appreciate you. You're the reason we do the show. Without you, there wouldn't be any point.
That is correct.
This is, something a lot of people, I think about going, well, do we really want to keep doing it? And then that'll be when everybody comes in and talks about how much they enjoy it. And, as long as that's the case, I guess we'll do it.
Yeah, there's been a few times you're like, should we keep on?
It's, but that's usually when people start showing up telling us how much they enjoyed it.
John Miller said, "Hi, hey guys, in between music sets, so I had to watch the show."
Johnny's actually at a Metallica concert, and he's still tuning in. That's dedication.
Yes, it is.
That's dedication. I hope they're putting on a good show. So anyway, I guess we're going to say, again, thank you. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week, great weekend. If you're in the area, stop and see us. We got a store full.
We do.
Got some cool stuff you can see, handle, play with, and enjoy. And as always, God bless America. God bless you.